Why and how to measure for this cell DNA damaging type of stress. Welcome to BFAB BU Made Simple, your daily dose of inspiration designed to help you reinvent yourself by optimizing your body and mind. I am Maria Horstman, a health editor and coach, a fitness trainer, a speaker, and an entrepreneur, founder of bfabbu.com. Our episodes are short and will bring you valuable content and practical nuggets for optimal health and fitness that you can implement ASAP. Let's get you to feel fabulous every day. Are you ready? Check out the show notes too. 1, schedule a free call with me to discuss a plan to take your health to the next level. 2, submit a question to be featured in our Ask Me Anything episodes on Sundays. Connect with me on social media and much more. Hit the subscribe button, and if you like what you hear, share with your friends and leave it a rating. And why to measure for this cell DNA damaging type of stress. Yes, you heard me right. Damaging DNA. We don't want that, right? Welcome to the BFAB BU Made Simple podcast. I am your host, Maria Horstman, and I'm also the founder of bfabbu.com. Look, I created this podcast because it's a way I can empower you to optimize your weight and health so you rediscover the great vitality, happiness, and lead a fulfilling life. And if you think that you're doing all that, how about upping the game some? Because there is always room for us doing better. And look, if you are among the super busy, stressed out, carb, and sugar lover, I understand you very well. I hear you loud and clear. I've been there and I know there is a way out. So a shout out to you for listening, for sharing this episode with your friends and family, and also for leaving us a review in iTunes. Your review will help this show grow and reach other awesome people just like you. So thanks in advance for doing that. I know it will take you just a minute to do it. So thanks again. So during the past episodes, I shared information about metabolic health, biomarkers of metabolic health, how insulin and insulin resistance impact these biomarkers. It's been all great information. If you haven't listen to it or has been a minute, go back to episodes 54, 55, 56, 57. But I'm ready to shift gears here to talk about other underlying processes that not only wreck metabolism, but also increase your risk factors for most chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, several types of cancers, respiratory disease, and a lot more. So let me introduce you to this type of stress called oxidative stress and inflammation. In today's episode, I will focus on oxidative stress. I'm going to dive deep here. And also, we're going to talk about how you can minimize oxidative stress and how you get tested for it, because, unless you test it, you don't know it. And next time, I will talk about inflammation and the relationship between these two processes, which are oxidative stress and inflammation, and a lot more. So awesome stuff ahead. So you want to stay tuned. So the topic of inflammation makes the headlines a lot more often than oxidative stress. And maybe that's the first time you're hearing about it. We hear a lot about stress, but oxidative stress is a little different. It's still stressors though. But both of these processes are super important and deserve a lot of respect, because as much as they exist to defend us and heal us, when in excess, both have the superpowers to damage our cells, tissues, and organs. leading to these many diseases. So each process happens through different mechanisms, and one can lead to the other. And we'll talk about that in the future. And when that happens, my friend, there is a serious chaos going on. If only you want to feel healthy and age beautifully, you want to make wise lifestyle choices to minimize contributing to this chaos. If only. Well, okay. So I got to tell you this now. Just remind me of this. Have you seen the movie You've Got Mail? It was released in 1998. I remember that very well. It has Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks in it. And there is a scene, Tom Hanks pays Meg Ryan an unsolicited and unwanted house visit. They don't get along at that point in the movie, obviously. So she has a nasty cold and he goes to her house. He sits on the edge of her bed and she's laying on that bed as well with napkins, blowing her nose, and all that kind of stuff. He looks right into her eyes and says, if only. And she gets totally disturbed about that. And I won't tell you more about it. And maybe if you've seen the movie, don't remember this, go back and watch it again. This came to mind, as I said, if only. I love that movie and makes me smile every time I watch it. And yes, I've seen it many, many, many times since 1998. I own the movie, so I watch it quite often, especially in Christmas time. It's a great Christmas movie, I think. So, all right, let me get back to today's episode. Awesome topic of health here. And remember that you can find citations to scientific data and the transcript of each episode. I don't go about mentioning this study, that study, all that kind of stuff. So go to bfabbu.com/podcast. And there you have the transcript of almost every episode. And throughout the text, I put hyperlinks to the citations. The words inflammation and oxidative stress are often portrayed as pure villains. That is not the complete story, and I want you to know they play an important, healthy role in the body. Our immune cells use these processes of inflammation and oxidative stress to protect us against bacteria, viruses, allergens, toxic chemicals, radiation, etc., etc., etc. So this process are also in place to help the body heal from these daily attacks that we don't feel it. Yeah, there's attacking. A lot of times we're not feeling any of this stuff, and the body is handling. The body is a beautiful machine doing its job. So, however, when these natural protective occurrences get out of equilibrium and stay out of balance, for some time, the damage inside our bodies occur. And they start way, way, way before you and I feel in our skin. And by the time we feel in our skin, what I mean is, that we feel not only in the skin rash or anything like that, but we feel it. Things have been going on for some time. So we don't want that to happen, right? So what kind of role does excessive oxidative stress have in metabolic health and even metabolic syndrome? So metabolic syndrome is often characterized by oxidative stress. Yes, we don't hear much about it, but I'm here to tell you. And that is a condition in which an imbalance results between the production and the inactivation of reactive oxygen species. You can research that by ROS. They're also called free radicals. You might have heard about free radicals. So this oxidative stress happens when there is an excessive production of free radicals. What we want to maintain here is a balance between pro and anti-oxidative reactions in the body. Do you hear me? Balance between pro and antioxidative reactions in the body. So we want to kind of minimize as much as possible these pro-oxidative reactions, okay? So the more our oxidative stress load increases, the higher we are at risk of catching a chronic disease, because the increase of free radicals can destroy the cell membranes, damage DNA, and ultimately block energy production. And my friend, you know it, no energy, no health, no life, at least not one with joy, not the one that you and I are here to live. And yes, I have to say this, insulin resistance increases oxidative stress too. But let me step back over here for a second. What is free radical? So free radicals are derived from natural physiological metabolic processes in the body, including digestion of foods, metabolism of alcohol and drugs, breathing, energy production, and also from inflammation, and that inflammation caused by obesity, food sensitivities, insulin resistance, like I mentioned, and a lot more. The free radicals are also a result of exposure to chemicals, toxins, smoking, chemicals, again and again, and air pollution, and even excretion of pathogenic bacteria through diarrhea. Yes, we get pathogens and bacteria and things like that. And when we have diarrhea, that is a way of excretion. So that is a way that we see our free radicals as well. So this free radical is a molecule in unstable state, because it is missing an electron. And to gain that stability, this molecule wants to snatch an electron or energy from molecules nearby, right? So they're like, hello, I want to restore my own little health. Well, this kind of, snatching electrons here and there can lead to the destruction of cellular structures, as these molecules start stealing electrons from each other. When our cells can no longer keep up with the free radicals stealing electrons, well, that is what causes oxidative stress overload. Suckers and robbers, that's what I call them. So how the heck do we stop this craziness? Say hello to my friends, antioxidants, our natural savers. Yes. I bet you've heard about antioxidant foods rich in antioxidants, and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't heard, well, you're hearing now. Most of these foods are bright and colorful, and they do not come in a package. Okay, I'm just saying that. So these foods are also rich in vitamin C, vitamin E, and beta carotene, to tell a few examples. So that's bright, colorful stuff, okay, that you want to eat. So what these antioxidants do, they stabilize a hungry, stealer free radical molecule by lending an electron. Now, this stabilization process happens through a chemical property of the vitamin E, for example. It's not about the specific nutritional property of the food. It's a chemical property that happens. I know it sounds complicated. The body is complicated, but you know what? The bottom line is this. As far as food goes, at least, eat your rainbow, right? Look into your plate. What kind of colorful stuff am I eating? And that's going to come, my friend, with every meal, right? So especially if you're eating 3 meals a day, maybe 2 meals a day, pack it up, baby. So help your body defend itself, because each one of us are exposed to an insane amount of pro-oxidative factors. Whew, woo, that was a lot. Go back and listen to it again if you need to. And if for some reason you feel I dumped stress on you by, sharing all this technical information, let's step back over here. Rest assured that I have great news. Yes, I love the great news. I'm a coach. I'm here to tell you to go from I can't to I can, right? So here we go. First of all, what you can do is understand and put in practice this. Your lifestyle choices, such as your what? Diet, stressors or stress levels, sleep, movement, call it movement, exercise, physical activity, whatever, move your fanny, like I call it, supplementation, and the access, and exposure to toxins that we discussed a minute ago, they play a powerful role in keeping this oxidative stress and inflammation as well under control. You are in charge here, my friend. Secondly, you can measure oxidative stress in levels of cellular damage. Isn't this freaking amazing? You're like, what? Never heard about it. Yes, I know. You're hearing right here from your coach, Maria. So if you're asking why would you want to measure and know this stuff? Well, heck, let me give you a few reasons. May I please? One, it's because you value your health and you love yourself. Okay, if you don't love yourself, we got to do some work here. Please call me. Okay, look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you, love you. And if you cannot say it, let's work on that, because part of it is a mindset game over here, my friend. If you cannot love yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to take on healthy habits, right? You're going to keep beating yourself up. Okay, let me go on this because I can go on and do a whole show about this. Number two, you are committed to experiencing optimal health. That's it. Number three, you have dreams. You got things to do. You got places to go. And you recognize that without health and innate energy, it will be hard to accomplish these things with joy or even accomplish them at all, period. Another one, you may want to know where you stand, right? So you can actually make changes to your lifestyle that will get you results faster instead of this trial and error. And again, another reason is you are tired of this trial and error. And you're also tired of, okay, you get some results, but it's still, you're not feeling great and fully comfortable in your skin. There is stuff to kind of, resolve inside. You know this better than anybody else. So if you agreed to at least one of these reasons here, and you have been exposed to many of these stressors that I mentioned before, the ones outside this, physiological, natural parts of the body, like digestion and eating and production of energy and so on, you will want to test whether you have elevated levels of oxidative stress, because that's going to tell you that you may or may not have damaged your DNA of your cells, okay? So without getting too technical, there are two ways we can measure cellular damage caused by reactive oxygen species, or this ROS, or again, free radicals. One is by measuring damage to cell membranes via lipid peroxidation. Big word, I know. The other is by measuring the damage done in the cell interior via DNA oxidation. Now, that sounds cool, isn't it? And this one, my friend, is simple and fairly inexpensive way that I suggest to my clients, and I help my clients to get tested so they learn what's going on inside the cells. And then we can, apply natural therapies to kind of help heal this. The biomarker 8-OHDG, I'm going to simplify here because the name is so complicated, you know what I'm saying? So again, 8OHDG, it shows the cumulative cellular oxidative stress produced by DNA oxidative damage due to a couple of more complicated reactions happening inside our bodies. I'm not going to get into that. Enough of complication here. But this, if you get this test and the numbers, show elevated levels of HOHDG, it is an opportunity of healing or for healing. This lab is not a diagnostic, lab. And although you need a practitioner like myself with a relationship with a lab or laboratory that runs this, I do not treat and diagnose. You know that. But like any other lab result, unless the results are clinically correlated to you, they're just numbers. Now, when the results are actually well correlated, as a health and wellness coach, I will guide you or someone else to use natural remedies. Now, if you decide to ask your doctor about this 8OHDG test, don't be frustrated or upset if he or she is absolutely clueless about how to do this, or even say that this type of lab is nonsense. I'm not going to get into this, all right? This is the reality that happens right there. And this type of screening isn't covered, by most insurance because it's not considered, diagnostic. It's a preventive and a non-diagnostic test. And unfortunately, most physicians often do not look that deep, okay, to treat symptoms because they're treating symptoms and prescribing what? Medications to treat the symptoms, which really doesn't do much healing, right? It's just like putting a Band-Aid on that wound. So personally and professionally, I'm about taking full responsibility for my health, and I want you to do the same. I want you to know what's going on inside yourself, just like I do. I want to know what's going on inside me as much as possible so I can take appropriate measures. Either if it is to maintain, or to actually tweak things. And I'm not going to let an insurance company or someone else dictate what I can or I cannot do. Plus, I don't want to wait until I am diagnosed with something that then requires some medication to heal. Prevention first. And that's how I rule. And that's how I want you to rule as well. So if you would like more information about doing a metabolic wellness profile test that includes levels of 8OHDG and other biomarkers of liver and gut dysfunction, let's talk. Go to bfabbu.com, schedule a call with me, and we're going to get the ball rolling. By the way, I wanted to tell you that I've done a metabolic wellness profile, the same one I'm encouraging my clients and you over here to do it not too long ago. And I was super duper happy to see my very low levels of 8OHDG. And I am committed to keep protecting my cells, tissues, DNA, organs, whatever. And I would love to help you to do the same. Okay. You deserve it as much as I do. And as part of my health transformation program, I add certain labs to it, and including this, depending on obviously what you're looking for. But if you want to dive deep into it and figure out and stop the trial and error, I'll help you implement protocols based on natural therapies. That will help to change your habits, implement sustainability in the areas of your nutrition, your movement, sleep, stress, and supplementation. So we address your complaints, your health complaints, and you feel in freaking control of your own health and feel awesome, amazing, great in your own skin again. All right. Woo, that was a lot for today. So stay tuned because we are about to start on the topic of inflammation next time. And there is more awesome content for you. I hope this was informative. I hope this was inspiring. I want you to understand that there is ways that you can get to understand what's going on inside your cells and what else can be better, right? So, of course, I would love to hear from you, your experiences, questions, comments. Go to bfabbu.com/podcast question to send me a note or hit me on the social media. Send me an email, whatever. I would love to connect with you, okay? So I will talk to you soon. And ciao, ciao, baby. Thanks for listening to the BFABU Made Simple podcast. Can you do me a favor? If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and leave it a rating. It helps the podcast and I really appreciate it. If you're wondering where to start, head over to my website, linked in the show notes, to sign up to receive encouragement, tips, and strategies to maximize results. While you're there, download a free health guide to get you started today. If you're looking for a coach and trainer to help you optimize your weight, body, and health, get on my calendar. Let's discuss your goals, establish a custom plan, implement it, and celebrate your results. Together, we can do this. Find the link to schedule a free energy audit strategy session also in the show notes. Connect with me on social media. I would love for you to let me know that you're listening to the show. Also see the show notes for the links. In addition to a qualified healthcare practitioner, it's important that you have someone in your corner who is in for you and will help you to plan and stay on track implementing your goals. Are you ready? Let's rock and roll this boat. I will see you on the next episode of BFABU Made Simple. Just a reminder that this podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast is not a substitute for health care by a doctor or other qualified medical professionals. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.